The courtroom trembled as Judge Hawthorne's gavel slammed down, rattling water pitchers and sending papers skittering. Gasps erupted. Alex Hawthorne, a young man in his late 20s with sharp blue eyes, gripped the edge of the defense table, knuckles white. His heart pounded, every nerve screaming. Across the room, the jury leaned forward, eyes fixed, while reporters froze mid-pen stroke. Samuel Turner, the witness, trembled under the spotlight, voice cracking as he spoke a secret that shattered assumptions. Dark liquid from a fallen coffee cup spread across the polished floor, unnoticed. The air was thick, charged. Alex's mind raced. Every word now could seal his fate. He met Victoria Sinclair's gaze across the room, seeing her composed mask falter. The gallery's murmurs escalated, and the trial's stakes became life itself. Alex swallowed, hoping for a miracle that might not come. Alex sank into the wooden chair behind his table, eyes scanning the courtroom like a cornered animal. Samuel Turner's testimony hung in the air, a weapon of revelation that could destroy him. Every juror's glance felt like a verdict before the judge spoke. Victoria Sinclair's poised demeanor was a lie, Alex could feel in his bones, a calm masking a storm. His pulse hammered in his ears. He recalled the moment he learned of his inheritance, the shocking death, the whispers of foul play. His allies were uncertain, and every handshake felt like betrayal. The gallery's whispers curled around him like smoke, impossible to ignore. Alex whispered to himself, "I didn't do this. I can't let them win." The courtroom seemed to shrink around him, the walls closing, every sound magnified. Time slowed, and the stakes became absolute. A ripple of uncertainty ran through the courtroom as the prosecutor, Eleanor Prescott, strode forward. Her heels clicked sharply against the polished floor, commanding attention. "We are here to uncover the truth," she said, voice sharp as glass. Alex's jaw tightened. He knew every word from this moment could alter his life irrevocably. Samuel's testimony revealed fragments of deceit, each sentence twisting perception. Whispers of family betrayal and long-buried secrets surfaced, tainting memories. He thought of Emily, his estranged sister, whose allegiance remained unclear. Every glance, every smirk, every note passed was a potential threat. His palms slick, heart racing, Alex realized the trial was no longer legal, it was personal. The gallery's murmur rose as a photograph was shown. Alex standing over his late uncle's desk, an expression of grief frozen on his face. Jurors squinted, minds weaving assumptions, while reporters scribbled furiously. Alex felt a surge of helplessness, realizing how easily perception could be manipulated. Victoria Sinclair's eyes met his, a silent message flickering. "Survive." Samuel's testimony continued, revealing correspondence between Alex and the deceased that implied motive. Each word struck like a hammer. The courtroom, once a place of justice, felt like a stage of accusation. Alex's throat tightened. He swallowed, steeling himself for the questions yet to come, praying for clarity that might never arrive. Alex's lawyer, Maggie Whitmore, leaned close, whispering, "Stay calm, every word matters." Her voice, sharp but soothing, cut through the storm of anxiety. He nodded slightly, forcing composure. The gallery seemed to lean in, collective breath held. Samuel Turner's final words echoed, hinting at a conspiracy within the family empire. Every juror's gaze felt like a weighing scale, tipping slowly. Time felt elastic, stretched between revelation and reaction. Alex's mind raced, envisioning outcomes, each bleaker than the last. He clenched his fists under the table, determined to survive this first trial by fire. Shadows lengthened across the polished floor as sunlight waned, marking the passage of tense, relentless hours. The night air was thick with tension as Alex Hawthorne slipped through the shadowed corridors of his ancestral mansion. Moonlight filtered through tall windows, casting sharp patterns across the marble floors. Every creak of the old house echoed like a warning. He paused by the grand staircase, glancing toward portraits of his late relatives, their painted eyes seeming to follow him. A letter clutched in his hand hinted at betrayal, hidden deep within family ties. Alex's mind raced, each revelation from the trial replayed in his memory, twisting trust into suspicion. The wind rattled the windows, carrying whispers of secrets best left buried. He pressed forward, determined to uncover the truth before enemies struck again. In the grand hall, a chandelier flickered, shadows dancing across intricate tapestries. He sensed he was not alone. Every step forward brought a chill, a reminder that danger lurked in corners unseen. Alex discovered a hidden study behind an ornate bookshelf, dust motes dancing in a single beam of moonlight. The room smelled of old parchment and cedar. He ran fingers over a desk cluttered with letters, journals, and a locked drawer. One journal, filled with meticulous handwriting, hinted at schemes that could ruin him and his family. His pulse quickened as he read about clandestine meetings and cryptic warnings. Every page revealed layers of deception that he had never imagined. The mansion's silence was oppressive, broken only by the distant toll of a grandfather clock. Outside, shadows shifted, suggesting eyes watching him. Alex felt trapped in a game where every move had consequences far beyond imagination. He needed answers, yet feared the truths he might uncover. Suddenly, footsteps echoed through the hallway. Alex's heart leapt. He ducked behind the study door, clutching a letter to his chest. The footsteps drew closer, deliberate and cautious. From the dim light, a figure emerged, Victoria Sinclair, her expression unreadable, eyes gleaming with determination and something darker. She whispered, "You shouldn't be here alone." Alex realized the trial was only the beginning. The real confrontation awaited in shadows, where trust was a currency in short supply. Victoria stepped forward, her hand brushing a hidden dagger at her waist, a warning Alex couldn't ignore. The tension coiled in the room, thick and electric. Every instinct screamed flight, yet curiosity rooted him in place. Their gaze locked, each silently assessing the other. Outside, the wind howled, rattling the study window. Time slowed, every second laden with potential peril. Victoria's voice was low, controlled, yet urgent. "There are things you don't know, Alex, secrets that could destroy everyone." He listened intently, weighing her words. A storm raged outside, rain lashing against tall windows, thunder rolling through the mansion like an omen. She revealed correspondence implicating family members in hidden crimes, alliances formed in shadows. Alex's mind struggled to connect the pieces. The trial's narrative was unraveling before him. He questioned every ally, every handshake, every whispered warning. The house seemed alive, creaking as if it understood the gravity of the revelations. Lightning illuminated the room, casting sharp silhouettes that flickered across walls, cluttered with old paintings and tapestries. Each revelation brought fear, yet a desperate clarity surged within him. Alex's fingers trembled as he held evidence that could topple his family's empire. The rain outside hammered against stone walls, matching his racing pulse. Each page revealed betrayals, hidden alliances, and financial manipulations. Victoria's presence was both a warning and a reassurance. The line between ally and enemy blurred. He realized the trial's courtroom drama was merely the tip of the iceberg. The mansion's dark corridors whispered threats, secrets, and promises of revenge. Alex's resolve hardened. He would confront these shadows, expose the lies, and reclaim control, even if it meant facing enemies he could not yet see. The night was far from over, and dawn seemed a distant, uncertain promise. His jaw clenched, eyes steeling, determination radiating despite fear. Dawn broke over the mansion, painting the stone walls with pale gold light. Alex Hawthorne stood at the balcony, surveying the grounds that had witnessed decades of secrets and betrayals. His mind replayed every revelation from the hidden study, every whispered warning from Victoria Sinclair. The family estate, once a symbol of power, now felt like a cage. Each corridor, each painting, seemed alive with accusation. Alex clenched the letters in his hand, his pulse steady despite the storm inside. Today he would confront the people who had manipulated events for their own gain. Every step was deliberate, every breath measured. The morning air carried the scent of wet earth and cedar, grounding him amidst chaos. He descended the staircase with purpose, determination gleaming in his eyes. Shadows clung to the corners, reminders that not all secrets were ready to surface. Alex entered the grand hall, greeted by echoes of the past. The chandeliers shimmered in the morning light, dust motes dancing like fleeting memories. Victoria Sinclair awaited near the staircase, eyes sharp with both caution and resolve. Together they began uncovering the final puzzle, a ledger hidden behind the family crest, its pages detailing embezzlement, false testimonies and betrayals that had spanned years. Each entry shook Alex's confidence in his family, yet strengthened his resolve to expose the truth. Thunder rumbled in the distance, a storm still lingering in the skies beyond. The mansion felt alive, almost sentient, as if aware of the reckoning about to unfold. Every sound, the creak of the floor, the flutter of curtains, was amplified, drawing attention to each subtle movement. Alex's hand trembled slightly as he read, but his eyes blazed with purpose, ready to confront deception head-on. Suddenly, the library door slammed open, revealing Gregory Hawthorne, Alex's cousin, face twisted in fury and panic. "You shouldn't meddle with what you don't understand," he shouted, voice echoing across walls lined with ancient tone. Victoria stepped between them, warning sharp in her gaze. The confrontation escalated, words cutting sharper than any blade. Betrayals that had simmered for years erupted into accusation, each revelation a thunderclap in the tense silence of the mansion. Alex refused to back down. He would uncover the full truth no matter the consequences. Dust fell from shelves as gestures punctuated heated speech. Outside the storm broke, rain pelting windows and soaking the gardens, nature echoing the turmoil within. Shadows shifted as if observing, weighing each word. The air was electric with tension, the mansion itself a stage for this decisive clash. Gregory lunged, attempting to seize the ledger, but Alex anticipated the move, deflecting it with precise control. The struggle sent papers flying, the mansion's silence shattered by shouts and crashing furniture. Victoria acted quickly, restraining Gregory, her expression resolute yet wary. Every motion was calculated, a deadly dance of force and strategy. Alex realized that winning this confrontation required not only strength but clarity of mind. Lightning illuminated the room in sudden flashes, casting grotesque shadows that flickered across the walls and faces. The mansion seemed to lean in, absorbing the chaos while demanding justice. Amidst the storm and turmoil, Alex's resolve hardened. He would end the deception once and for all, even if it meant facing family betrayal head-on. In the aftermath, silence returned like a fragile truce. Gregory, subdued and weary, sank into a chair, realizing the web of lies he had spun. Alex exhaled, relief mingling with exhaustion. Victoria handed him the ledger, its pages finally safe. The mansion seemed to exhale, as if relieved justice had been restored. Sunlight pierced through storm clouds, bathing the halls in warm light. Alex looked at Victoria, gratitude and respect reflecting in his eyes. He knew the journey was far from over, yet the heaviest burdens had been lifted. Secrets exposed, betrayals confronted, the mansion no longer felt like a cage. Shadows lingered, but they no longer held power. With resolve and determination, Alex stepped forward, ready to rebuild trust, reclaim his family's legacy, and face the world with newfound clarity. Morning arrived at Hawthorne Manor, soft light streaming through the windows and illuminating the polished floors. Alex Hawthorne paced in the study, examining the ledger once more, each entry reaffirming the justice achieved. Victoria Sinclair joined him, carrying tea, her calm presence grounding the tension still lingering in the house. Outside, the gardens glistened from the storm, droplets clinging to leaves and petals, reflecting sunlight like tiny crystals. The mansion, once heavy with secrets, now hummed with the possibility of renewal. Alex reflected on the challenges faced. The confrontations survived, and the alliances forged. Though some scars remained, there was a sense of relief, of lessons learned. He turned to Victoria, gratitude in his eyes, realizing that trust and courage had shaped this morning. Shadows still lingered in corners, yet they seemed less threatening, absorbed into the warmth of newfound clarity. Alex stepped out onto the terrace, feeling the crisp morning air brush against his face. The storm had cleared, leaving a clear sky streaked with golden clouds. He inhaled deeply, letting the scent of wet earth, cedar, and blooming flowers fill him with a sense of purpose. Victoria joined him, and they exchanged a quiet look of mutual understanding. The mansion behind them no longer cast oppressive shadows, but stood proudly, a testament to resilience and integrity. Alex thought about the family legacy, about rebuilding it on truth and honesty. Every corner of the estate, from the fountain to the ivy-covered walls, seemed to resonate with the promise of a new chapter. Birds chirped in the distance, sunlight catching their wings, a symphony of renewal. Alex's determination solidified. He would honor the past but move forward without fear, guided by the lessons he had endured. As they walked through the gardens, Alex noticed how life persisted despite past chaos. Flowers bent under the weight of raindrops, but stood resilient. Victoria laughed softly at a stray cat, darting across the path. And for the first time, Alex felt a lightness he hadn't experienced in months. They paused by the fountain, its waters catching sunlight in sparkling arcs. Conversations from days prior replayed in Alex's mind, but instead of regret, he felt clarity. Betrayals had been faced, lies exposed, and honesty restored. He realized that life, like the gardens, required careful tending, patience, and courage. Each step forward was a choice to embrace growth rather than fear. The mansion, the estate, and even the stormy nights behind them now felt like chapters in a story that was far from over but brimming with potential. In the greenhouse, tropical plants thrived, untouched by storm or neglect. Alex ran a hand along the leaves, noticing new buds ready to bloom. Victoria studied rare orchids, her focus precise yet relaxed. Conversation flowed easily, no tension, just shared respect and understanding. This space, lush and vibrant, mirrored the growth within them both. The air smelled sweet and earthy, humid but comforting. Alex reflected on his journey. The confrontation, the revelations, the trials endured. Each challenge had strengthened him, sharpening his resolve and clarifying his priorities. He smiled at Victoria, recognizing a companion who had navigated darkness alongside him, and together they planned for the future. Every leaf, every droplet, seemed to celebrate their triumph, a testament to resilience, courage, and renewed hope. By evening, the mansion glowed in amber twilight. Alex and Victoria stood on the balcony, the estate sprawling beneath them like a living tapestry. The sky, painted in hues of orange and purple, mirrored the warmth and peace settling in their hearts. They spoke quietly of plans, of dreams rebuilt on foundations of truth and courage. Alex understood that while the past had shaped him, it would no longer define him. The shadows of betrayal had receded, replaced by light, hope, and purpose. Victoria rested a hand on his arm, a gesture of solidarity and trust. As the first stars appeared, the mansion seemed to hum with contentment, the echoes of conflict replaced by serenity. Alex took a deep breath, embracing the quiet triumph and the promise of new beginnings. The night was calm, and the future lay before them, bright and untangled from the darkness of secrets past. Dawn broke over Hawthorne Manor, the first rays of sunlight spilling across the rooftops and gardens. Alex Hawthorne stood at the balcony, watching the world awaken with renewed clarity. Birds circled above, their songs weaving through the crisp morning air. Victoria Sinclair approached quietly, carrying a journal filled with plans for the estate's restoration. Together, they discussed initiatives to preserve both the history and the future of the manor, ensuring it would thrive for generations. The lingering tension of past deceptions had dissipated, replaced by focus and shared ambition. Every room in the mansion reflected calm and purpose, a stark contrast to the turmoil that had once dominated its walls. Alex felt the weight of responsibility, tempered by optimism, as they made decisions that balanced tradition with progress. Outside, dew sparkled on leaves and sunlight danced across fountains, painting the estate in golden hues. The air was fragrant with blooming flowers and fresh earth, signaling growth and resilience. Inside the manor's grand hall, sunlight poured through tall stained glass windows, illuminating dust motes in a golden haze. Alex walked past portraits of ancestors, feeling their presence like quiet guidance. Victoria unrolled architectural plans on a polished table, and they debated design details with enthusiasm. The mansion, once a place of shadows and secrecy, now resonated with creativity and life. Servants moved quietly, polishing surfaces and tending to flowers, reflecting a rhythm of harmony. Every corner seemed to echo the lessons learned, reminding Alex of the importance of transparency and diligence. Together they envisioned a space where memories were honored, yet innovation thrived. Laughter occasionally punctuated the discussions, filling the vast hall with warmth. The afternoon sun created patterns on marble floors, adding a sense of elegance and continuity to their planning. The estate, resilient and alive, mirrored the partnership forming at its heart. Later, in the manor library, Alex and Victoria reviewed historical documents, tracing the origins of Hawthorne's legacy. The shelves, lined with leather-bound tomes, seemed to whisper secrets of perseverance and wisdom. Alex carefully examined a ledger, noting patterns and lessons learned from past missteps. Victoria pointed out archival drawings, her eyes bright with curiosity and insight. They realized that understanding the past was essential to building a responsible future. The soft crackle of the fireplace added warmth to the room, contrasting with the cold knowledge of history's mistakes. Shadows shifted with the flames, creating a dance of light that mirrored reflection and discovery. Outside, the wind stirred autumn leaves, a reminder of change and the passage of time. Each decision they made in that library felt anchored in integrity, guiding their steps toward a thriving legacy. In the estate gardens at sunset, Alex and Victoria strolled along winding paths, the golden light casting long, peaceful shadows. Flowers swayed gently in the breeze, droplets of dew sparkling like tiny jewels. They discussed plans for community outreach, educational programs, and preserving the manor's natural beauty. Children's laughter echoed faintly from nearby, hinting at future gatherings and celebrations. Alex felt a profound sense of accomplishment, recognizing the growth not only of the estate, but of his own character. Victoria's guidance and insight had become invaluable, their teamwork embodying trust, respect, and shared vision. Every tree, fountain, and flower seemed infused with the story of endurance and recovery. The sunset sky, streaked with oranges and purples, mirrored the calm yet vibrant energy enveloping the grounds. The evening air carried scents of lavender and earth, a living reminder of the beauty cultivated through care and dedication. As night fell, the manor glowed under soft lantern light, casting warm reflections on stone pathways. Alex and Victoria stood together on the balcony, the estate below quiet and serene. Stars sparkled in the clear night sky, mirrored by lights glimmering in the gardens. They reflected on the journey, challenges faced, secrets unveiled, and triumphs earned. Their partnership, built on trust and shared vision, had transformed the mansion and their own lives. Every shadow of doubt had been replaced with understanding, courage, and renewed purpose. The estate hummed with quiet life, a living testament to perseverance, foresight, and integrity. They knew that while challenges would come again, they now faced them, armed with wisdom, unity, and hope. The night was calm, the air fragrant with evening blooms, and the future stretched before them, bright, unburdened, and promising. Morning fog lingered over the Hawthorne estate, softening the outlines of gardens and fountains. Alex Hawthorne stood on the balcony, coffee in hand, contemplating the day ahead with a calm determination. Victoria Sinclair arrived, her expression a mix of excitement and serenity. They discussed the upcoming inauguration of the restored manor, a celebration of history and renewal. The air carried a faint chill, and dew glimmered on flowers and leaves. Alex reflected on the challenges that had shaped his leadership and deepened his understanding of trust. Victoria spoke of the community projects and educational programs they would launch, bridging past traditions with future innovation. A flock of birds took flight, their movements precise and graceful, mirroring the clarity and alignment between their shared visions. Every pathway, fountain, and tree felt alive with promise, as if the estate itself was awakening to new purpose. They knew today would mark a milestone, not only for the manor but for their ongoing partnership. The grand hall was prepared for the manor's inaugural ceremony, sunlight streaming through tall windows, illuminating polished floors and flower arrangements. Alex adjusted decorations while Victoria coordinated the staff with precision and warmth. Guests began to arrive, their chatter blending with the soft notes of a string quartet playing in the corner. The hall exuded elegance and history, yet vibrancy and modern energy infused the atmosphere. Portraits of ancestors seemed to watch approvingly, their painted eyes reflecting pride and recognition. Alex felt a subtle tremor of nerves, tempered by confidence gained through experience. Victoria whispered encouragement, her calm presence steadying him. Together, they welcomed each visitor, exchanging handshakes and smiles. Laughter mingled with conversation, punctuating the air with the joy of achievement. The restored estate symbolized endurance, vision, and partnership, realized in tangible form. As the ceremony began, Alex addressed the crowd with a steady voice, recounting the manor's history, its trials, and the restoration journey. Victoria stood beside him, her gaze attentive, radiating confidence. He spoke of perseverance, trust, and the importance of community in shaping legacies. The guests listened intently, many nodding, their expressions a mix of admiration and reflection. Candles flickered on ornate candelabras, casting a warm glow across faces. Outside, sunlight filtered through trees, casting dappled shadows into the hall. Children peered curiously, inspired by stories of resilience and discovery. Alex concluded with gratitude, acknowledging every hand that had contributed to the manor's revival. Victoria smiled, sensing the resonance of their efforts with those around them. The hall erupted in polite applause, the energy of hope and unity vibrating gently through the restored walls. Every detail, from the polished floors to the frescoed ceiling, mirrored their dedication and vision. Later in the gardens, guests mingled beneath flowering trellises, laughter blending with the hum of conversation. Alex and Victoria moved among them, answering questions and sharing stories of the estate's past and future. Tables adorned with seasonal blooms and refreshments invited casual discussions. Children ran along pathways, chasing sunlight and shadows, their laughter echoing like music. Alex marveled at the transformation, seeing the manor alive with life and purpose. Victoria recounted anecdotes of the renovation, charming guests with insight and humor. The breeze carried the scent of roses, lavender, and fresh-cut grass, enhancing the sensory experience. Every stone pathway and fountain reflected dedication and care, a harmonious fusion of natural beauty and human craftsmanship. Together, Alex and Victoria felt the weight of legacy balanced with joy, pride, and a vision that would endure for generations. As twilight settled over the estate, lanterns glimmered along stone paths, casting a warm glow. Alex and Victoria stood quietly on the balcony, observing the celebrations below. Music, laughter, and chatter drifted through the gardens, mixing with the soft rustle of leaves in the evening breeze. The sky deepened to a velvet blue, stars emerging gradually. Alex felt a profound sense of completion, a journey from uncertainty and shadows to clarity and fulfillment. Victoria rested her hand on his arm, sharing the silent acknowledgement of partnership and shared triumph. The manor, resilient and alive, had become more than a home. It was a testament to perseverance, vision, and community. Every candle, lantern, and fountain sparkled with life, echoing their care and devotion. Together they looked forward, knowing challenges would continue, but so too would growth, hope, and legacy. The night embraced them with serenity and promise, a perfect reflection of their journey and dreams realized. Dawn broke gently over the Hawthorne estate, mist curling around the manicured gardens. Alex Hawthorne stood at the edge of the fountain, his reflection shimmering in the water, deep in contemplation. Victoria Sinclair approached, her presence calm yet vibrant, carrying a tray of morning tea. They spoke softly of the recent celebrations, the estate's renewed purpose, and the enduring responsibilities that lay ahead. Alex admitted a quiet fear of stagnation despite their successes, while Victoria encouraged him to embrace each day as a chance to innovate and nurture. The air smelled faintly of wet earth and blooming roses, reinforcing the sense of renewal. Birds called from the distant treetops, their songs punctuating the morning stillness. Each step along the stone paths seemed symbolic, a rhythm of reflection and deliberate forward motion. Together, they mapped plans for expanding community programs, integrating art and education, and ensuring that the estate would remain a beacon for future generations. The soft sun reflected golden highlights across the fountain's rippling water, mirroring the clarity of their shared vision. Mid-morning brought sunlight, filtering through the tall windows of the estate's library. Alex organized archival documents, his fingers tracing the faded ink of generations past. Victoria observed, suggesting ways to digitize the records to preserve history while making it accessible. The library smelled of aged parchment and polished wood, a comforting aroma that anchored them in the present while honoring the past. Sunbeams illuminated floating dust motes, creating a sense of sacred stillness. They discussed partnerships with local historians and schools, envisioning workshops and lectures that would draw curiosity and inspire new learning. Alex paused to read a letter penned by his ancestor, feeling a profound connection across time. Victoria encouraged him to write reflections alongside the archives, blending personal insights with historical record. Every corner of the library seemed alive with possibility, each shelf a testament to endurance, memory, and knowledge waiting to guide the future. The quiet rhythm of turning pages and whispered conversations filled the air with purpose and resolve. Afternoon arrived with warmth, and the estate's veranda glowed under a golden sun. Alex and Victoria sat with notebooks and sketches, planning landscape improvements and art installations. Children from the local community ran through the lawns, their laughter echoing among the trees. Alex detailed pathways and fountains inspired by classical design, while Victoria suggested integrating modern sculptures reflecting light and shadow. The gentle hum of bees and rustle of leaves provided a natural soundtrack, grounding their creativity. They paused to share ideas, debating placement, scale, and color palettes, combining historical accuracy with contemporary aesthetics. Their hands occasionally brushed as they gestured toward sketches, a silent acknowledgement of trust and collaboration. Birds swooped in graceful arcs, their wings catching sunlight like fleeting highlights in a living painting. Every corner of the estate seemed to invite discovery and engagement, blending imagination with enduring beauty. The horizon glimmered in shades of gold and green, promising growth and exploration. Evening fell, and the estate's horizon blushed with amber and lavender. Alex walked along the fountain's edge, lost in thought about the legacy they were shaping. Victoria joined him, carrying a lantern that cast a warm glow on the cobblestones. They discussed future expansions, including a community library, art exhibitions, and scholarship programs. Alex reflected on lessons learned from past challenges, embracing the notion that progress was iterative and resilience vital. Victoria spoke of mentorship, emphasizing that guidance and encouragement would cultivate the next generation of leaders. Fireflies emerged in the gardens, their twinkling light weaving a gentle rhythm into the twilight. The fountain's ripples reflected the sky's shifting colors, creating a mesmerizing dance of light and water. They paused to watch children practicing in the garden's open space, their movements a joyful embodiment of growth and curiosity. A profound serenity settled over them, uniting dedication, love, and hope in a tangible presence. Every element, from lantern light to gently swaying branches, seemed choreographed to signal continuity and purpose. Night settled over the Hawthorne estate, stars emerging in a clear velvet sky. Alex and Victoria stood on the balcony, gazing across illuminated gardens and softly glowing lanterns. They spoke of dreams beyond the estate, ideas for community outreach, and projects that could inspire generations. A gentle breeze carried the scent of night-blooming flowers, mixing with the cool night air. Lanterns cast long, soft shadows, creating an intimate and contemplative atmosphere. Alex felt a deep satisfaction, recognizing that the journey of growth and renewal was ongoing but grounded in accomplishment. Victoria rested her hand on his, silent, yet eloquent, sharing a moment of quiet reflection. The estate, now alive with celebration, learning and nature, seemed to breathe alongside them. Together, they envisioned future seasons, knowing that legacy was not a fixed monument, but a living, evolving tapestry of effort, care, and shared vision. Every element, the stars, the lanterns, the fountains, aligned to celebrate their journey, symbolizing both culmination and new horizons.